So let's move to the next topic. In the Since we have seen activities, we have seen view components, and we have seen string resources. Let's move to the first crucial chapter of the Android. So till date we have seen only UI components. Now we will move towards the activity and coding part more. And what are the components Android gives you to develop better apps? These are the components. So one of the first component, we are going to start with the Android intents. So Android intent, see, the word meaning intent has everything hidden in it. So intents are the fundamental part of Android operating system, and they are used for communication between components such as activities, services, and broadcast receivers. So basically, a developer's or an application's intent, the intention of that application is nothing but the intent. Okay, so intent means starting something or messaging something, or messaging or passing data from one source to another source. Okay, that is what intents are used. So intents are a way to express an intention to perform an action, and they can be explicit or implicit. These are the types, explicit and implicit. So intents are a way to express an intention to perform an action. Okay, so they acts as a messenger carrying information about an action to be performed, okay, and any data associated with that action. Okay, so intents are basically what? Way to express an intention to perform some action. Now these are the types of intents. One is explicit intent, second is implicit intent. So what are explicit intents? So these intents explicitly specify the components to be launched. For example, activity, service, broadcast receivers. Okay, explicit intents are used to start a specific component within your app. So within your application, whatever components you have, to start those components or to pass some data to those components, explicit intents are used. Okay, for example, starting an activity, passing data between activities, passing intent or catching an intent. Okay, like that, explicit intent. Now let's start. I will go to the implicit intent after some time, but let's start with the explicit intent. Okay, so in my application currently I have main activity. Okay, now let's suppose you have one more activity, which is user data activity or user details activity. So what I am going to do is, in main activity I will accept the information of user, and then I will show that information on the another activity by passing data from one activity to another activity. Okay, so I will go to activity and I will click empty views activity, and I will write user details activity. So generate a layout file. Yes, I want a layout file. Can this be launcher activity? No, I don't want this as launcher activity. Okay, package is same, language is Java. So I clicked on finished. So my second activity is also created. Now I will go to my main activity. I will open the layout and I will delete these. Okay, I will not delete this component. Let me check what these components we have in your last session. So let me make some changes. So I will add one text here, edit text here, and I will answer some a name. I will answer some name, and by taking that user input I will show that name on the other screen. So let's take one name and one button. Name, that means edit text, and I have taken button. So here in text, instead of text I will write hint. Enter your name, and I have button show info. Okay, let's check how the layout looks. This is the name, and this is the I will just write some gravity, which is center. Okay, normal gravity center I have to make, and here I will provide some margin. Margin will be 30 dp, and same margin for button also 30 dp. Okay, enter your name, show info. Now what is this ID? So I will write edt name and button show, btn show edt name. Now in main activity I will remove this toolbar, I don't need it right now, and here I will take button btn show and edit text I want. So I will take edit text edt name. So edt name, now we have to find those view. Find view by id r.id dot edt name, and button show equal to find view by id r.id dot button show. Okay, now button show dot set on click listener, because we want to have some on click event, because we are going to show another activity on this on click, right? Okay, so on this activity what I will do is, whenever I press the button I will get the name written into the edit text. Okay, so what I will do is string name edt name dot get text. Remember, I am writing this in on click. I am writing this in on click method. So what it will do, it will take the name of whatever we have written in edit text, and this is editable class thing, so we need to convert it into string name. Okay, editable is something different that I will teach you in some other videos. So we have to convert it to toString. So whenever the user will click this button show, I will have the name into my name variable, which is written into the edit text. This is how I am catching, or I am getting that name, right? Now the main thing comes. We have user retail activity, and we want to send that data to this activity, and we are going to show that data. Okay, so here what I will do, here I will take one text view. Here I will take one text view, and into this text view I will write welcome. Okay, now one more edit text below this, and I will use this as linear layout. Orientation vertical. Okay, gravity center. Text size I will increase to 30 sp, and both of these edit text will have. Now I want to set name to this text view, right? So I will just give some margin tentative. Okay, I want to give text name to this text view. So here I will remove this text parameter, and ID I will write txt name. ID of this text view will be txt name. Okay, I am removing these tools. So here one more text view is there, but we cannot see the name text because we have removed the text, but it is there. The name of that variable is txt name, ID of that variable txt name. So here I will take text view in this activity. This is user details activity, right? So here I am taking text view txt name equal to find view by id r.id.txt name. Okay, now I am sending some data from this activity to user details activity, right? And to send the data according to definition, what we have is what we have is intents are way to express an intention to perform an action, okay, and any data associated with that action. Okay, carrying information about an action to be performed and any data associated with that action. Here any data means user defined data. Any data means user defined data. So how to start the next activity now? So what we have to do is we have to take intent class object now. Intent equal to new intent. Intent equal to new intent. Now my intent constructor needs some parameters. Okay, so I will check into the documentation what are the parameters. So let us open the documentation for intent. Control Q. Okay, it is taking time to. Let's go to the browser and check what, or we can do one thing, we can open this intent class by control and clicking this, and we can see how many constructors we have. See, we have constructor 1 which is blank, default constructor, then constructor 1 which is intent object it is passing, then constructor with action, URI, package, everything, right? So here that class, what we are going to use, we are going to use this constructor, context, package context, and class. Why class? Because the class or the activity we want to open, that is the class. So here I will pass the current class context. So how to pass this context? See, if I write this here, it is wrong. This will not pass the context of your activity. It will pass the context from this interface, okay, or this overridden method. So here I will write main activity dot this. Main activity dot this. You cannot pass any activity context like this. In your own self activity only you can pass such context. If you write user details activity here dot this, then it will show you some error. It will show you error. See, why? Because you are not into the context of that activity. That another activity is not yet initialized, but here it is initialized. That's why you can use main activity dot this. Now next thing we want to, this is our source. Now what is our destination? User details activity. So what I will do, user detail activity dot class. I will write the class dot class because I want to pass some information to that activity, and activity is nothing but that class. Now this is my first step. Try to understand this. Here you will pass package context. This is the context, and here you will pass what? The destination activity class. Now I want to pass this name here with this intent, because we can pass any data with the intent. So what I will write is intent dot put extra. Input extra, as you can see, you can pass string name comma int value, string name comma byte value. This is name means what? the name of your variable, or name of your variable which can be identified when we are catching. And the second parameter is the actual value. You can send array also, you can send your custom object also, which is a serializable object. You can pass bundle also, you can pass intent also, anything you can pass. Okay, so I will write put extra, and here I will write name. That means identification of that variable. So I have just written username here. So my username, this name will be identified as username. Now I want to pass the value. What is the value? Value is here in name, so I am passing this name, right? This is how I have now put the data into the intent, which will be passed with this information. This information means this custom information, user defined information. Now last step I will write intent dot start activity. Intent dot, oh no, not intent dot start activity. I will write start activity. Start activity. See, here are few things. Start activities, start activity, start action mode, start activity if needed, start activity from fragment. So there are multiple things, and I am going to use start activity, and here I will pass intent. Here I will pass the intent object. Now these three lines will open the second activity, which is user details activity on the button click. So what was my first step? First step was intent. This is initialization of intent. Into that I have passed current context, then I have passed destination class name or destination context, then I have inserted some data here, then I have executed start activity, and into the start activity I have passed intent object. See, this start activity, it belongs to the app concat activity class. That start activity method, it belongs to the app concat activity class. Okay. So that is why you are directly writing it. See here, activity class, activity dot class. On the top, if you can see, activity dot class. So one activity have method to execute another activity. Okay. So here I have passed username and start activity. Now let's go to our second activity. Now we have sent data from here, but we need to catch or receive that data here into the destination class, right? So to get that data, we need intent again. Since we have sent data using intent, now we are catching that data from intent itself. So I will write intent I equal to get intent. Here we need to import this, import class. Okay, I have pressed Alt and enter here to get that shortcut. Okay, intent I, and now I need that name. So string name equal to I dot, and if you can see, I have just pressed dot, and you can see all the methods here. So one method we need, which is get string extra. And what is our identification name? It was username. See here, put extra, I have written username, and into the class get string extra I have written username. See, this is get string extra for string. If you don't want to use string data type, or if you are not sending any string data type, no problem. You can get integer also, or you can get character also. See, get byte extra, get boolean extra, get character extra. Likewise you will have get int extra also. See, get int extra. Okay, so now we know that it is a string, that is why I have written get string extra. Now here in on create, try to understand, I have written this in on create. That means whenever this activity lifecycle method will execute, it will give you the data whenever your screen is getting rendered. So that time it will be available for you to use on your screen. Okay, now txt name, I want to set that name to this variable or this UI. So txt dot set text, and here I will write name. Here I will write name. But try to understand here is what mistakes generally developers do is we have passed set text here, which is name, right? This is the string parameter, and it is accepting character sequence text parameter. Character sequence is a class. Okay, so always try to confirm that we are passing the right right type of variable, right data type into the methods. So for example, why I am telling you this, so let's suppose I have a toast. Let's suppose I have a toast, and very important information I am giving you here. You are saying this is text, right? This parameter is a text. Also in make text method documentation, you will see context text. This is character sequence text. This is type of string or character sequence, and then in duration, right? A lot of people, they do one mistake here. Suppose if I have int num equal to 10, okay, int num equal to 10, and if I pass num here, and if I execute this code, I will get null pointer exception here, or I will get some exception here. The reason for that is you are passing integer data type where it is accepting character sequence data type or string, and that is why you will get the error. That is why you need to convert this to string. That is why you need to convert this into string. So how to convert it? So either way you can append like this, or simple method is to use the string dot value of num. So it will give you, see, return type will be value. See, return type is string, and it is getting string. So this is how you can do. So always try to check into the set text what you are passing. Even if here num equal to 10, if you pass num here, it will give me error. Why? Because it is accepting string or character sequence data type, and you are passing integer data type. Okay, so here I have passed name. Now let's try to execute this code, and let's check out how this code is being executed. Okay, so my application is now running, and into the application let's type something. So here I will type Raj. Okay, and now let's press the button show info, and you can see welcome Raj, right? If I go to back, I will open this activity again. Why? Because in intents you will have the stack of activities. Whenever you open activities, you will have a stack of activities into the intent. So here, if instead of Raj, if I type Rahul now, and if I click on the button welcome Rahul, if I click back, it will come back again. If I click back again, my app will close. Now here, one thing you need to understand is you have created activity by right clicking on this application folder and new an activity. So since we have created activity from this way, activity entry was added into the manifest automatically. This is the activity entry. Whatever number of activities you are going to use into your application, you need to declare that activity into manifest. If you don't declare an entry into the manifest, your activity will not open. It will give me error. So how to do that? So since it was done automatically, let's do it manual again. So I will write activity tab inside application tab. Try to remember, inside application tag you need to write activity tab, and then this activity tag name parameter will be your activity name, and then exported false, because in Android default they have asked to write exported false. Even if I don't write it, it's okay, no problem. it is anyhow going to be open. Okay, so this is how activity entry you can define, and by going into the activity to execute an activity, what you need: intent object with source and destination, and if you want to pass that data, and then in receiver activity or destination activity, you will write get intent to get the data. Even if you don't pass any data, no problem. Even if you don't write this statement, no problem. Okay, if you don't want to send data, then no problem, otherwise you will have to write this thing here. So this is how explicit intents are used. Now there are more things in explicit intent. We are going to have a look in the next videos.